Good evening, friends. Study with Apala with the Spectrum History book. This is a brief history of modern India. This is Rajiv Ahir book. First, introduction with the content, source and approach. Chapter Source of the history of modern India. Chapter 2 A major approach to the history of modern India. Unit 2nd Advent of Europeans and consolidations of British power in India. Chapter 3 Advent of the Europeans in India. Chapter 4 India on the eve of British conquest. Chapter 5 Expansions and consolidation of British power in India. Unit 3rd Rising res- res- Resentment against company rule. Chapter 6 People's Resistance against British before 1857. Chapter 7 The Revolt of 1857. Unit 4 Reforms Movement. Chapter 8 Socio Religious Reforms Movement Journal Features. Chapter 9 A General Survey of Socio-Cultural Reforms Movement. Unit 5 The Struggle Begins. Chapter 10 Beginnings of Modern Nationalism in India. Chapter 11 Indian National Congress Foundation and the Moderate Phase. Unit 6 National Movement 1905-1918. Chapter 12 Era of Militant Nationalism 1905-1909. Chapter 13 The First Phase of Revolutionary Activities 1907 to 1917. Chapter 14 The First World War Nationalist Response. Unit 7th Era of Mass Nationalism begins 1919-1939 to 1939. Chapter 15 Emergence of Gandhi. Chapter 16 Non-Cooperation Movement and Khilafat Andolan. Chapter 17 Emergency of Swarajist Socialist Ideas, Revolutionary Activities and Other Few Forces. Chapter 18 Simon Commissions and the Nehru Report. Chapter 19 Civil Disobedience Movement and Round Table Conference. Chapter 20 Debates on the Future Strategy After Civil Disobedience Movement. Chapter 21 Congress Rule in Provinces. Unit 8 Towards Freedoms and Partitions 1939 to 1947 described. Chapter 2 Nationalist Response in the Wake of World War II. Chapter 23 Quit India Movement Demand for Pakistan and the INA. Chapter 24 Post-War National Scenario. Chapter 25 Independence with Partition. Unit 9 India under British Rules, Governance and Other Aspects. Chapter 26 Constitutional, Administrative and Judicial Developments. Chapter 27 Survey of British Policy in India. Chapter 28 Economic Impact of British Rule in India. Chapter 29 Development of Indian Press. Chapter 30 Development of Education. Chapter 31 Peasant Movement 1857 to 1947. Chapter 32 The Movement of the Working Class. Unit 10th Independence and After. Chapter 33 Challenge Before the New Born Nation. Chapter 34 The Indian States. Chapter 35 Making of the Constitutions for India. Chapter 36 The Evolution of Nationalist Foreign Policy. Chapter 37 First General Elections. Chapter 38 Development under Nehru Leadership 1947 to 64. Chapter 39 After Nehru. And last is Appendices.